Back when I was getting ready to graduate from college, I decided I wanted to be an Air Force pilot. So I flew to McGuire Air Force Base, took all the flight physicals, did all the paperwork, and they sent me a letter said you're going to get notified of where to apply for basic training and get yourself ready. So I moved out of the apartment I was living in and moved home with my mom and dad. 2 weeks later, I got a letter saying I had been medically disqualified because of hay fever. Like a knucklehead, I checked hay fever on one of the millions of things they seem to have of anything that you had ever caught or had go wrong with you during your life. And I figured I had to check something, so I checked hay fever. Well, that's what did me in. We had a friend who was in the Pentagon, asked him if he could step in and help us, and he couldn't. So the recruiter calls me up and goes, hey, we can't, the Air Force, we can't take you as a pilot, but the Marine Corps is looking for pilots. Now, whether I would have ended up being a helicopter pilot or flying one of the jets, I don't know. But I was a typical liberal college student at the time who had gone through the whole Vietnam protest and the Kent State shootings, and I just, at that time, had no respect for the Marines, and there was no way I wanted to be a Marine. So I said no. I ended up scurrying around and got a job as a school teacher, which my degree was in special ed, and there were plenty of jobs. And I ended up being a special ed teacher, and life went on. Over the years, I ended up sitting and talking with my dad, and he said, you know, you're like a leaf in a stream, your life, and you float along and you bump into a rock and you go left or you go right. You hit a fork and you go left and you go right. And that was one of the forks in my life that when I look back at 74 years old, I think, Marty, you should have gone ahead and become a Marine. Now with, another 50 years of experience, I've ended up living in areas where there was a Marine Corps base and ended up with quite a few friends who are Marines. And I have always admired their how proud they were that they were Marines, and their esprit de corps, the way they just carry themselves. I have always admired them. And now I'm wishing I had done it. Even today, at 74 years old, if I could join the Marines, I would. Not that I'm looking for a huge challenge at this point in my life, but I just wish I could be one. I play golf at the Marine Corps base here in Kaneohe in Hawaii, and I'm just so proud of the young Marines that I meet and see on base, and would love to be able to tell people, yeah, I'm a Marine. My father-in-law was a Marine pilot, and he went to the Marine Corps ball every year. And the last few years, when he was approaching 90 or 91 years old, he was usually the oldest Marine at the ball. And he was just so proud, as all Marines are. I mean, I don't think you'll meet one that isn't super proud that he was a Marine. I don't really see that with a lot of the other branches of military. Anyway, why would I want to be a Marine? Well, right now, I would be enjoying at least one retirement income from being a Marine. And I think I follow orders well enough and I try to succeed at everything I do. I think I would have been successful as a Marine and I would have ended up getting promoted. How far I could have gone, who knows? But at this point, at 74 years old, I would have a retirement income from my service to the Marine Corps after 20 years. And I would have probably went on to another career in the Marines after I retired and would have an income from that, as well as the health benefits, being able to shop at the PX. I mean, despite the fact that they don't pay a lot, the military does have a lot of good benefits. But again, I wouldn't want to do it just because of the benefits. With the Marine Corps, I would just like to be a Marine. And that's my story. Aloha.